Good afternoon and welcome to the 72nd report of Crawl or No Crawl. This is Carolyn Holzman. Today the Semrush reader is at 6.3, which is a little up from yesterday, but still things seem to be interesting. And specifically something that happened last night, and it seemed to happen into early morning in Search Console. So you remember I mentioned in the recent report that some of the test pages that had previously been indexed and findable by both of their keywords, the simple one and the JavaScript, were only now able to be found through their JavaScript, that the simple one went away, which seems kind of weird. And around 9 p.m. last night, none of them were findable, not by their simple, not by their JavaScript. And I had to go back to, the date was April 8th, to find a page that was findable by even just one of its keywords. And then in the middle of the night, I was up, it was around 4:44, in fact, and I saw a message from a colleague in New Jersey who was obviously up and said something was seriously messed up in Search Console. So I'm going to share my screen and show you what the heck was happening. And let's see, we're going to talk about this here, but this was the first thing. So what was happening was, if you remember, normally there's 4 options here. The position option is the last one. So this, you only have one thing selected, but you had 3 lines of data. So if you selected 2, now you had, 2 lines of data, but not the ones that, the blue one, the clicks was not actually the one that was showing. And then when you selected all of them, the only thing was the click-through rate. This is interesting to me because I do think, one way these 2 events could have been related to each other is let me just see if I can describe this. Google may have rolled back the coverage in the Search Console to some earlier version of the index. Sorry, I forgot to turn off my phone. So it looks like Google rolled back, right? Kind of like to make room for, like, they had where they were and they went back to a place where they'd been before. And so they basically kept those 2 points rolled back to the earlier one so they could make some of the changes in Search Console. Clearly, Search Console was the focus. And I know there's a lot of talk about, things that they're doing in Search Console, like making Core Web Vitals, not just mobile, but also on desktop. So anyway, just to let you know, everything is now easy peasy indexed. Like this morning after 4 o'clock in the morning, but later in the morning, I checked all the pages, all the test pages that last night were no longer indexed. They are now all findable by both keywords, including Wednesday's test page. So that was quick because normally that probably wouldn't happen until tomorrow. So anyway, it's possible that may have replaced the coverage update that was sort of predicted for this. Now, if you're keeping up with the score, these little things here indicate where I'm anticipating some sort of coverage update in the Search Console. So it's still showing the previous date from, I think it's 4/25 on there. Yeah, 4/25. So there we go. We'll just sort of see how all this transpires. So now let's play Crawl or No Crawl. There were 13 desktop bots. I call that bot 1, which is the one that crawls all the directive files and the trust files like privacy policy, contact page. There were 17 today server records of desktop 2. Now desktop 2 is the bot that does the refresh render crawls, and then 69 mobile bots. Now that's the one that also does the discovery and the refresh render crawls. And it was pretty much going, as you can tell with that number, going crazy today. 15 feed fetcher bots, the one instance of the Google image bot. But this time, today, it did pull an image again. In Bing, there were 34. They were all desktop, no mobile. I do not know what happened to the Bing mobile bot. We'll have to see, you know, nobody cares what happens in Bing, I guess, until it does. And I did not see, I know previously I've reported where I see a strong division of labor between Bing's IPs, like one does this, another one does that, and the third one does sort of a little bit of both. Did not see that today. And there were no Bing previews, which is usually has to do with images, things like that. And 8 DuckDuckGo favicon bots. Well, that's it for today. If you would, please subscribe to the channel. It's free, and you can help me gain the ability to name this channel. This week's confessions, I'm going to share some of my current testing and the one that I'm setting up for this week, which I think is kind of interesting. I don't know what it's going to prove that Google is right, maybe, or what mobile first indexing actually looks like. But anyway, thanks for adding this to your day. So now go back to work.